We often look at these huge achievements, right? Like towering skyscrapers, maybe groundbreaking innovations. But what about all the stuff that happens underneath? The less visible work that's totally essential, the foundations. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We're actually going way back, centuries back, into a really detailed part of the Bible, First Chronicles 26, to look at exactly well, the power of those behind-the-scenes roles.
That's right. Yeah, let's set aside the big epic stories for just a moment. We're diving into what honestly looks like a simple admin record at first glance.
Admin.
Yeah, King David, carefully listing out roles, gatekeepers, treasurers, other temple officials. It might seem like ancient bookkeeping, really.
Okay, ancient bookkeeping.
But hidden in that detail, there's some surprisingly relevant wisdom for us today.
So not just a dusty list, then. There's something more. The level of organization described is pretty striking.
It really is.
Every role, every person seems so thoughtfully placed. It kind of makes you ask, what can we actually learn from all this detail about, well, the nuts and bolts of running a temple back then?
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. What this super detailed record suggests, I think, is that trustworthiness in the, let's say, the mundane stuff that builds the foundation for the really big things. David seemed to get that. Grand goals need this bedrock of reliable, dedicated people in every single role.
No matter how small it seems.
Exactly. Think about it, the responsibility given to those guys guarding the temple doors or the ones managing the valuable resources. Their faithfulness was absolutely crucial.
It really does shift your perspective, doesn't it? Because we usually focus on the leaders, right? The
Yeah.
visionaries.
hmm
But this text highlights that the whole operation, well, it depended on the dedication of people in these really practical jobs. Somebody had to handle security. Someone had to manage the supplies.
Yep. Not the headline jobs, definitely not.
No way.
Yeah.
But clearly essential for the whole thing to even work.
And that leads straight into this principle of integrity and stewardship. The text actually spells out the careful selection, the organization of the treasurers.
Right. The people handling the money, the offerings.
Exactly. And they weren't just handling, ordinary stuff. These were sacred offerings.
Yeah.
It really underlines a timeless idea. How we manage whatever we're given, big or small, it shows our character. It reflects our values.
That makes you think about what our sacred resources are today. It's broader than just finances, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's our time, maybe our talents, the influence we might have.
Precisely. And look at how David structured these roles by families, sometimes even using lots, to ensure fairness and distributing the work.
Like a lottery system.
Sort of, yeah, to make it equitable. It just speaks volumes about the value they put on order and accountability. This wasn't just random assignment.
Yeah, it was a system.
A system designed to, well, honor the temple's purpose and make sure everything ran smoothly.
So bringing that kind of intention, that structure, even to our own routine tasks, it's like a way of showing what we value, demonstrating what we truly care about.
Absolutely. And maybe the most powerful takeaway, for me anyway, is this. Everyone had a role. Everyone. From the head gatekeepers down to folks with perhaps less prominent duties, every single contribution was essential.
Nobody was seen as insignificant.
Exactly. No small parts, just small actors kind of thing.
Right. Okay, so let's bridge that gap. We're not ancient temple officials, obviously.
Probably not.
Haha, probably not. But where do these principles show up today in our lives?
Well, think about the behind-the-scenes heroes all around us now. In any company, any community group, even just within our families, right? There's so much vital work that just doesn't get the spotlight.
Like the IT person keeping everything running.
Exactly. Or the volunteer who quietly sorts the donations, or that family member who's just always there with support. These people are our modern-day gatekeepers and treasurers in a way. Their faithful, steady work lets everything else happen.
That's a really strong parallel. And the idea of integrity managing our resources well, our money, sure, but also our time, our influence, like you said, that feels so relevant for building trust, for showing we're committed to what matters.
Totally. It builds that credibility. And when you think about organization and accountability today,
Yeah,
I mean, things are complex now, right?
definitely.
Businesses, nonprofits, even just managing our personal lives effectively. Having clear roles, good systems, it creates stability. It allows for growth.
Right, without that structure, things can fall apart pretty quickly.
They really can. And that ties back to the idea that everyone has a role in our teams today, in our communities, actually recognizing and, importantly, valuing every contribution, whether it's visible or not. That seems key to building real unity, real shared purpose.
It fosters that sense of we're all in this together.
Precisely. Now let's think for a second.
Mm.
How could embracing these ancient ideas actually maybe deepen our own faith today? Well, when we start recognizing the inherent value in all kinds of service, even the jobs we think are ordinary, it can sort of inject our daily tasks with a bigger sense of purpose, right? A connection to something more than just the task itself.
Finding the sacred in the everyday, maybe.
That's a great way to put it, finding the sacred in the mundane. And then, when we actively try to live with integrity in our daily stuff, how we handle our responsibilities or resources, it just strengthens our own moral compass. It reflects our commitment back to our core spiritual values.
And what about the order part?
Mm.
Bringing diligence and order to what we do. Could that itself be like an act of reverence? A way of honoring our beliefs through just doing things well?
I absolutely think so.
Yeah.
Approaching our responsibilities with care, with intention, that could be a really powerful expression of what we hold sacred.
Mm.
And finally, really seeing and appreciating the unique gifts and contributions of everyone around us. It just builds community, doesn't it? It reinforces that shared sense that we're all connected, all playing a necessary part in, a much larger picture.
So this detailed account in 1 Chronicles 26, it's definitely not just about ancient temple admin.
Not at all.
It's packed with these timeless insights, isn't it? About faithful service, why integrity matters so much, the real value of order, and fundamentally, how every single person's contribution counts.
It's a powerful reminder that even in those tasks that feel ordinary, maybe unseen, there's profound meaning there, an opportunity to live out our deepest values.
So as you go about your day, maybe something to think about. What behind-the-scenes role might you be playing in your work, your family, your community that actually holds way more significance than you realize? And maybe how could bringing a bit more intention, more integrity to those everyday tasks actually deepen your own sense of purpose, your connection to something greater? Definitely some food for thought there.